1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. These chilling words, whispered by children in a playground rhyme, became the anthem for a generation of horror fans. They introduced us to one of the most iconic and terrifying figures in cinema history, Freddy Krueger. Today, we're journeying back to 1984, to the quiet, unassuming suburban street that became a landscape of terror. We're talking about the film that didn't just break the rules of the slasher genre, it rewrote them entirely. This is the story of Wes Craven's masterpiece, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Before we dive into the boiler room, let's set the scene. The early 1980s were the golden age of the slasher film. We had silent, hulking killers like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, who stalked their victims in the physical world. They were scary, sure, but there was a simple rule: if you could run fast enough, you might just survive. But they're all about to learn a horrifying truth. The film's opening sequence is a masterclass in tension. Tina is chased through a surreal, nightmarish boiler room. The sounds are metallic, screeching, the lighting is dark and oppressive. And then we see him, Freddy Krueger, dragging his bladed glove along a pipe, creating that unforgettable, skin-crawling sound. Tina wakes up screaming, with slash marks on her nightgown. It wasn't just a dream. This single, terrifying detail establishes the film's core premise: what happens in the dream world has real, physical consequences. The first kill is one of the most shocking and unforgettable in horror history. During a sleepover, Tina is attacked by Freddy in her dream. But in the real world, her boyfriend Rod watches in horror as an invisible force slashes her chest and drags her, screaming, up the wall and across the ceiling. The practical effects are gruesome and utterly convincing. It's a scene of pure, unrestrained terror that tells the audience this is not your typical slasher movie. There's no safe place to hide. Rod is immediately blamed for the murder and arrested, but Nancy knows something else is at play. She's been having the same nightmares. She's seen the same man. This is where Nancy Thompson, played brilliantly by Heather Langenkamp, becomes one of horror's greatest heroines. She's not just a final girl who survives by luck. Nancy is proactive. She's a detective in her own story. She starts investigating, trying to piece together the puzzle of who this dream stalker is. She discovers that all her friends are having the same nightmare. They are all being hunted by Freddy Krueger. Nancy's journey is a desperate fight against sleep itself. She chugs coffee, sets multiple alarm clocks, and does everything in her power to stay awake because she knows that the moment she closes her eyes, he'll be waiting. This struggle is so relatable. Who hasn't tried to fight off sleep? But for Nancy, it's a matter of life and death. The film beautifully captures her exhaustion and growing desperation. The world around her starts to feel surreal, even when she's awake. Is that phone really a tongue? Did Freddy's face just push through the wall above her bed? The film masterfully blurs the lines, making the audience disoriented and paranoid as Nancy digs deeper, she confronts her parents, Police Lieutenant Dawn Thompson and her mother Marge, and here, the film reveals its dark, buried secret. Freddy Krueger wasn't a demon or a ghost in the traditional sense. He was a real person. Fred Krueger was a vile child murderer who preyed on the children of Elm Street. In a fit of vigilante justice, the parents of Elm Street, including Nancy's own parents, hunted him down to his boiler room hideout and burned him alive. This backstory adds a fascinating layer of moral ambiguity. The parents committed a crime to protect their children, but in doing so, they created an even greater monster, a supernatural entity fueled by vengeance. Their sin is literally visiting upon their children. There's Glenn, played by a very young Johnny Depp in his film debut, being sucked into his own bed, only to be spewed back out as a geyser of blood that paints the entire room red. Every element is designed to be unsettling and unforgettable. The climax of the film is a testament to Nancy's ingenuity and courage. Realizing she can't fight Freddy in his world, she decides to bring him into hers. She sets a timer, falls asleep, finds Freddy, and grabs hold of him, and just as her alarm goes off, pulling him out of the dream and into the real world. This is where Nancy's plan, inspired by survivalist books, kicks in. She turns her own house into a booby-trapped fortress, reminiscent of Home Alone, but way more deadly. She trips him, sets him on fire, and confronts him head-on. In a powerful moment of defiance, she turns her back on him, telling him, "I take back every bit of energy I ever gave you. You're nothing. You're shit." By reclaiming her power and refusing to be afraid, she seemingly vanquishes him. But this is a horror movie. After all, the original ending Wes Craven wanted was a happy one, with Nancy having conquered her fears. But the studio insisted on a jump scare ending to leave the door open for sequels. So, we get that famously ambiguous final scene. Nancy walks out into a beautiful morning. Her friends are alive, and her mother promises to quit drinking. It all seems perfect. They get into Glenn's car, and suddenly, the convertible top, patterned in red and green like Freddy's sweater, slams down, trapping them. As the car drives off, seemingly controlled by an unseen force, Nancy's mother is pulled back through the small window of the front door by Freddy's glove. Was it all a dream? Is Nancy still trapped in the nightmare? This final, chilling twist leaves the audience with a profound sense of unease and cemented the film's legacy. A Nightmare on Elm Street was a massive success. Made on a shoestring budget of around $1.8 million, it saved the studio, New Line Cinema, from bankruptcy, earning it the nickname The House That Freddy Built. It spawned a massive franchise of sequels, a TV show, merchandise, and a remake. But none have ever quite captured the raw, inventive terror of the 1984 original. It's a film that works on so many levels. It's a terrifying slasher, a psychological thriller, a commentary on suburban secrets, and a story about a young woman finding her strength in the face of unimaginable horror. It took a simple, universal experience dreaming and turned it into the ultimate source of terror. So next time you're drifting off to sleep, and you hear that faint, metallic scraping sound, just remember Nancy. Don't give in to the fear. And whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Thanks for joining me on this trip down Elm Street. What's your favorite scene from the movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into your favorite horror classics. Until next time, stay safe and sleep tight.